It's interesting, Matt, as we talk about Raphael Bostic's comments, the economy seems to be a big focus because of the coronavirus. Are you as concerned right now as perhaps some others about the global economic impact of this outbreak?
Yes, I am, because especially as it looks towards the markets. I mean, we always hear these comparisons to the SARS virus, and what happened then. It really wasn't that big a deal. But we've all heard is that China was only 2%, 2 to 3% of the global economy at the time. Now it's 18%. It's much more consumption driven now, and their consumption is grounded to a halt. And I don't see that these numbers or the virus is getting any better. If anything, it's getting slightly worse. And again, going back to 2003. The stock market was coming off of a 3-year decline of over 50%. Now we're coming off of a 3-year advance of 80%. So instead of the market being incredibly oversold and undervalued, it's overbought and if anything, overvalued. So I think people need to be very, very careful here. If it continues to spread the way it is and cause problems, it is going to have an impact on earnings and growth. And you don't need it to cause a recession for it to have more of an impact than just a 3% decline on the stock market we've seen here in the U.S. so far.
Yeah, it sure doesn't seem like the markets are that concerned right now. Yes, we have some ground to make up to get back to where we were before last Friday. But still, we're looking right now at the bottom of our screens here. The Dow's going to open up about 330 points at this stage. Does this mean now that the pullback is done?
I don't think so. Are we really going to hear an all clear sign? I just don't think so. We have, again, I'm not an expert. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. But it just seems to me this is something that's going to be with us for a while. And if it turns out to be a long while, we've got some major problems. And the thing is, the market doesn't need really any reason to go down 3 or 4 or 5%. Sometimes it just gets overbought and comes back itself. So now that there is some sort of a reason to pull on your horns a little bit, I think that we will get something like 5% or even more before we see the final bottom. And that's just if things don't get a lot worse.
So does that mean that you are a buyer? You're not a buyer just yet, though, of this market?
Yeah, I'm definitely not a buyer yet. I just think that, sometimes you have to take, especially after this huge run we've had over the last 12, 14 months, if you miss a little bit of the next bounce and you have to pay a little bit higher, that's kind of like buying insurance. Sometimes you don't have to necessarily spend it to buy puts or buy defensive names. Sometimes you miss a little bit of opportunity cost. But in that case, it's like it's okay to put up with that. Insurance always costs something, and therefore you're not spending. You may have to spend higher later. That's okay, because you may have an opportunity to buy on a dip that I think is coming.